All right, we're live. Hey, it's Friday. And what is today? Today is the 21st of August. And I don't know about you, Alan, but I've had a fantastic week and I can't wait to have a stellar show today. So, what's new up there in Michigan?
Well, I wish I knew, considering I just got back in town late last night, about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I was actually running around Chicago all week. I have not been there seeing clients or anything in years, and I had a great time. Saw a lot of clients, some shops that are well known that I've just never been to. The guys at Grunt Style, what a great shop and operation they have. Marathon Sportswear. Got to hang out with Pete at Same Day Tees. I had never seen a M&R DS, the digital squeegee, in a working environment, and that was so awesome. Pete was such a gracious host.
You saw it running?
It was running.
So what was that like for people who haven't really seen that before? Let's get a description, man.
Well, it was awesome because he has two guys that are running it that really, and I asked a few questions, but they were so focused. I felt like I was interrupting, their jam as they were getting through. They were setting up a job and it was a different one. It was like a handkerchief job. So they're having to raise the head. They didn't want head strikes, but it was pretty interesting with the underbase, the digital print, and then the overprint clear on it. So it was just real cool seeing that. And then the art director came in and we were comparing, the print to the original because, you don't think about that. When you print a handkerchief and you screen print, if there's a wrinkle, if something's up, not a problem, as long as it's not in the image area. But you can't have head strikes. So they were working with that a little bit. And so it just came down to take a picture of it, send it to the client for approval. Let's see.
Right.
So it was interesting. And, I'm learning as, the more you raise that head to prevent a head strike, now your image, as the droplets go down there. So it was not like it was an easy print for them to do. I don't think it was in their norm, but it was very interesting. He doesn't have it on an oval. He had a big enough M&R press already there. And Pete is such a great guy. He's known, I think, at Same Day Tees for the digital squeegee now, but we were talking on Facebook a little bit. Peter Walsh jumped in. He is the consummate garment decorator. He does digital squeegee. He's not a massive shop like Fanatics or something like that. He was literally the first small market shop. He has a couple more automatics, but he does direct to garment. He does screen printing. He does HTV. And it's basically, the right products for the right process for the right customer. Let's go.
That's great. That's great.
And I thought that was awesome.
Cool. Well, hey, we got some people here. So let's say hello. And if we love it if you're watching right now to comment, or don't forget, this is a question and answer show. So we want your questions, comments, and that stuff. So please let us know who you are that you're watching. Where are you? Where do you live? That kind of stuff. And even if you're watching this on a recording, maybe you're not watching live, please leave that comment because we check that stuff and we want to see you in here in engagement.
Right? We want to know everybody, no matter when you're watching it. If you're watching it later, I watch most of Marshall stuff. I never see live. I watch it afterwards, but please comment, please like. We want to track all that stuff. Because remember, what do we say? If you can't track it and measure it, you can't control it.
Right. So Keith says, happy Friday, guys.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for watching. Keith says, good morning. We're busy printing, but y'all part of our Friday routine. Thank you so much for including us in your routine.
Yeah.
We greatly appreciate that. And I know a lot of shops aren't really watching. They're listening to us in the background while they do stuff. And we appreciate that. So thank you so much. And also don't forget, we're not just on Facebook, we're also on YouTube.
Yep.
So, YouTube is where it's at. I'm trying to build my YouTube channel.
And also I'm going to do the shameless plug. Those of you that are always in there, Keith and Kisa and Brian and Gustav, man, share this. Have the other printers that in your group.
Yeah.
Share it out. We love shares.
We love it to be shared. That's just so incredible if you do that. So And then we've got Brian's here. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
And our good friend Richard's here.
Richard, it's good to see you and talk to you again. I just talked to Richard on the phone about an hour before this.
Yeah.
And we were talking all things Michigan.
Yeah. So is Richard getting part of the $600 million Flint, Michigan money?
Richard lives way far away from Flint. He lives on the Detroit River in an area called Wyandotte, which is a super great area. So no, he does not get $600 million from Flint. So yeah. So just so everybody knows, Flint, Michigan, up here by where I live, because of the water crisis, I guess there was an agreement that the state's going to pay $6 million.
That's Michael Moore's whole documentary is based on that, whatever that was called.
Yeah, and so Marshall asked me how much money I'm getting. I
live near there. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, maybe he's included. So
no. If I wasn't on here, you knew I got a bunch of it, and so no, I was pretty far away from Flint. I was never affected by any of that.
Do you think you could fit into like a Lamborghini or a Maserati or something?
If I could afford a Lamborghini and Maserati, believe me, I would make myself fit into it. I'm not sure you look real cool when you're jammed in there like a can of tuna.
I don't think I could drive that car. It'd be like, like a normal car.
Yeah.
It's like, because I'm 6'5", and for those of you who haven't met me, I feel like folding up a lawn chair to get into a car. I like a truck, right? Where I just slide my butt over. It's the right size, right?
Yeah.
That's what I like.
I have an SUV. I just don't even have a small one. I have a Jeep Grand Cherokee there, and I love it. So,
good.
But cool, Richard and I were talking. He called. There's always stuff happening. Most people don't realize we talk garment printing here. There is other types of screen printing. In some of the shops I've called and are glass printers. So your side windows and your front and back windows for your cars are all screen printed. And Richard called because it looks like
with the tint, you mean the fade?
Well, the tint, and if you look at all the electronic stuff, well, in Arizona you don't have them, but the defrost, everything like that is all screen printed, and anything on the sides and stuff you see is all screen printed. Mm-hmm. And so we saw Vitro Glass in Everett, Michigan, was shut down, and that's pretty sad because Everett is only a place of 3,000. I was there in February, and just a little sad, when a company goes down, anytime a company like that goes down, there's employees lost.
Yeah.
But
that's unfortunate. So they're done forever or never
from what
back?
I understand, yeah, they have other plants around the country. So I'm imagining they're full to get in. They were just printing side windows for Honda, GM, Chrysler, things like that.
All right, so we have some more people joining us, and let's get to our first topic. So Charles says, good morning.
Morning, Charles.
Dan's here.
Dan, what's up?
Peter Walsh is here to give you grief.
Peter is mad at me still, but I've asked him, begged his forgiveness.
And hold on, and Peter's watching on YouTube.
Way to go, Peter.
Gotta throw that out there. Richard says, edge masking to hide the glue. What is that referring to, Richard? I don't know what that means.
That's the
window process.
He's talking, in the window on there. So if you look on, these are things you never notice on your window. If you look around the edges where it's there, where the seal is, but there's almost like a tinted black band around it. That's all screen printed. And then if you look in your side windows, there's always all these little GM logos and everything like that we just don't ever think about. And they're all there. They're all printed because, everybody's got to have their own little advertising on that.
Yeah, that's right. It's called branding, man.
Oh, yeah.
And then Josta says, hey, from Sweden, and he's watching on YouTube. That's exciting to me. And then Mike Woolbright's here. So good morning.
Good morning, Michael. How you doing? You taking it slow, bud?
Hopefully.
Yep.
All right. So let's get into our first topic. You ready?
Let's go.
This is something that you wanted to show, so you're going to have to explain what we're talking about here.
Last night, so I'm a little nervous busy. Yeah.
Nervous busy. What is that about, man?
Well, that's what I'm calling it. I've been traveling more. Like I said, I was just in Chicago. Peter is mad because I was there for 4 days, didn't call him. I'm a bad friend, Peter. I apologize. And when I go back in a couple weeks, I will contact you. But there's a lot of shops that are busy. A lot of them are up there in that 65 to 70%. There's been a couple that said we're over what they were expecting. And I know our company, we're having a pretty decent month. And that's great. We're excited. But I think everybody's going, yeah, this is good. But we're going, it's a nervous busy. Is this going to keep up? Is this a trend? Is this a fluke? I don't know.
Right. Nobody knows.
That's what I call it, a nervous busy. So, I'm not sure bullet points after that where to go. But what are you? Some of you are, are out there printing. What are you seeing? And do you feel, are we coming through this? I hope, and this is all going to be theory and conjecture right now. Nothing really there. So I actually think, Marshall, my point, and this will go into our next topic a little bit too, is, we talked about before, we got to come through the tunnel. And we're just not sure what that looks like. How do we know when we're out? And part of us, you and I were talking, you feel in your bones, you said that, you think we're not even halfway through this pandemic, whatever we would call it. Well, I'm the opposite. I feel we're kind of there, but I think there's other things, preventing it. Well, regardless of where someone fits on that, I think there comes a time as a business, we got to go, fine, whatever. How are we going to run our business? How are we going to do that? And there's always obstacles coming, because I'm getting to the point where I don't care. I don't care about the elections. I don't care about the government. I don't care about any viruses and everything like that. I've got to start working and run my business and territory, whatever that looks like. It might not be the same as I used to do it, but we have to go. And I'm glad we're having a good month. But I'm going, this is August. Is September going to look like? Wait, what's January going to be? We don't know. So it's a nervous busy.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think a lot of people are getting hung up on is they're looking at July 2019, August 2019, and we're comparing, right? And it's kind of like, what's going on, right? And so what happens when we do that, I think, is we kind of get sucked down into this negative hole a little bit. Yeah. And I think maybe a better strategy, of course, it's always good to look at your numbers, and I'm not saying don't do that. But what I'm saying is a better use of your time is more forward thinking. Right. So what are we doing right now? Is your brain 6 to 8 weeks from now? Do you have your sales and marketing plan for September right now? Is it finished? Yeah. Have you started on October yet? Have you started building what you're doing for holiday for your shop? Absolutely. I think those, instead of like dwelling on what, just comparing, what happened last year to this year, because let me tell you, the numbers are going to be off. My personal business, like I was looking at this yesterday, and the reason why I'm saying this is it makes me want to throw up. Yeah. I can't spend that time. I have to be looking ahead. I have to be looking at what I'm doing with all the craziness that I'm trying to build and put together for me in my business, because I'm a consultant coach, right? Mm-hmm. What am I doing? Forward thinking. What am I building? What am I investing my time and effort and money in? That's what I think is going to pay off. And for, I think, not everybody, but sometimes we're like, it's like we have concrete shoes on, right? We're stuck in the mud just thinking about stuff, and we're paralyzed because, schools are back and they're not ordering, or whatever your situation is, right? I'm here to tell you is, maybe that's not a good customer. Quit worrying about them and go find somebody new. Agreed. Go find somebody that's ordering, and quit dwelling on the people who aren't ordering because they're not going to order. If that makes any sense. I don't know. So,
and I think everybody's like that. So there was a client in Chicago. I'm not going to say the name. It's a pretty well-known printer, but they said they're about 70% right now. They're pretty good. Right. But he, in the same breath, he goes, I don't know what's going to happen in fall because all the events we usually do that we depend on are not there. And I looked at them. I go, okay, what are you guys working on? So he does the production. His brother does the sales. And I said, you might want to have that conversation. What are we working on? Maybe already is.
Yeah. Well, what was the answer? What are they working on?
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking to the production guy.
Oh, okay.
His brother has a sales. So
well, here you go. So there needs to be some transparency and some urgency here.
Right.
I don't think we can afford to wait.
No. Well, what did we say 2 weeks? Was it last week? No waiting. There is no waiting.
Yeah, exactly. We can't afford to wait. We need to be thinking about stuff. We need to be trying things. We need to launch the new idea. And, done is better than perfect, right? Let's just get it out there and let's test it and let's tweak it and let's find out if it's working. Maybe you get a little traction. Okay, what do we need to get more? Okay, let's do this other thing and whatever. And let's have some positive movement.
Yep.
If you're waiting for your customers to call you, you're going to be out of business because that's not reality. Nobody's calling anybody. Nobody's going to go, hey, I need some stuff. Right. And so I want you guys to be launching some stuff and be forward and being proactive and going out there and getting things.
Yeah.
That's really going to be better for you in the long run if you have that type of thing, the mentality, and build that process. You're going to have far faster results. Will customers call? Yeah, maybe. Just depends on what's going on. But I think you'll have better success if you're actually going out there and doing it, right?
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. So we've got to, there's always going to be that nervous busy, but I guess as a business owner, and I can't speak from experience of that, but as a business owner, when things are going good, I'm sure sometimes there's always that little specked out and deep going, there's a little bit of a nervous busy. This is good. Wait, what am I missing? What's going to happen? So,
right. Well,
especially when you have other employees and stuff.
Like I talk to shops all the time, just like you do. Right. And I know people right now that are moving to print on demand, and they're building production right now that's 24. That's how busy they are.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's like they're moving away from what's the phrase? We danced with the partner that brung you, or whatever. What's that phrase? Yeah. Did I mess that up?
Yeah.
They're moving away from that and into another direction because that's where their market is going.
Yeah.
Right. For them, right? Maybe that's not applicable for your situation, but so it's like one of these things. What are we doing right now that's going to pay off in the long term, right? And that's the bets that we need to be looking at. So,
well, I think it's applicable even as a manufacturer, and I'm not going to get into details for fear somebody from EasyWay is watching and things I can't say, but we are looking. What are other markets? We are right now. I am expecting an order from a brand new distributor. Which is going to be awesome,
right?
In your area, Marshall.
Yeah. Well, when you make it to Arizona, it's it's going to be great.
It'll be mine to handle. So I think
what's going to be
March.
Yeah. Can you imagine? We'll do this live from somewhere, right?
Oh, it'd be great
from my pool.
Your pool. I was just going to say exactly, but. We are looking at what different markets. We've looked at our product line going, what do we have to do to where the hole's at? We know what we've done well all this time, but what are the auxiliary products that maybe it's just a Me Too add-on product that we're just missing easy dollars from a dealer and they're buying it from someone else. So we are looking at all of this. I'm sitting here, we talked about Everett Glass. What about the glass market? Yeah, I've been into a couple of them. Am I hitting that hard? What's going on with automotive and graphics market? For me as a supplier, which handles all aspects of screen printing, and we've had to, as a company, buckle down and just start looking at it all.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, instead of the glass company just sticking with automotive, what if they pivoted to doing something for your house or some other, solar panels or something? I don't know. I don't know the industry, but what could they have done to have saved that company?
Yeah, solar panels are printed, and there is a big electronic of that printed on there, but a lot of that did. And what we're seeing in some of the other aspects is there was a lot of that business that went overseas in that solar panel and electronic market. But what has happened is a lot of that business that's gone overseas because, forget what you hear in the news, China and stuff, and it's so cheap and stuff. What's happened in China is they have created, and I see Dan Solomon, Rob Coleman, and Peter Walsh can also probably have a little bit more insight than me on this in the global market. But what happens in these third world countries a lot of times with China is they end up creating their own middle class. So it doesn't become as cheap as it was, say, 20 years ago. When NAFTA happened in Mexico. They created their own middle class. Everything went to Central America, and it's there. And then sometimes that stuff has to ship over by boat.
Yeah.
Unless you want to pay next day air. Well, now we're going, as things are becoming more and more just now print on demand, there are a lot more business I'm seeing coming back into our country. And so that's not a bad thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing, a good thing. It just is. So start looking at that. I'm seeing that in some of that electronics in that automotive market too, which is kind of exciting.
So we have some comments. Dan says done is better than perfect. Love that. Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
I wish I had coined that phrase, but I didn't. And then Rob says print on demand trend has been accelerated probably by 5 years due to COVID.
Agreed.
Exactly. Which is the whole retail apocalypse. I mean, I've been writing about the retail apocalypse in my blog for 2-3 years now, right? And guess what? It's here.
Yeah.
So, and that's 100% pandemic related, right?
Yep.
So think about how, and the reason I want people to think about a holiday right now is absolutely nobody's doing Christmas shopping in a store. This is just not going to happen. And so everything is going to be online. So are you ready for that? Are you ready to support your customers? Are you ready to sell to customers online? Do you have an online store? Do you have a web store? Can you create a web store? So instead of waiting for somebody to hand you business, can you create your own business by building your own web store about something? And then you're printing the shirts for it, right? Are you building that out right now, right? Don't wait for somebody to hand you the thing. Figure out what you can do and do it. So that's kind of my my thing there. And hey, Kitson's here.
Mr. Kitson.
All right. So let's shift to customer experience partnership.
Customer experience and partnership.
This is another Alan Howell special topic.
So usually I come up on my topics with Marshall because of something that has just irritated me to death.
Right.
So I'm going to say this while leaving the people that were involved out of it. And it wasn't me.
Thank God.
Oh gosh. If it's me, I just need to be, those of you, Marshall and Rob and Greg and Dan, all those, and Richard that have known me all those years. If it was me, you just need to just get together collectively, just beat me with a bag of oranges. So, a customer calls me, they order from a supplier. They wanted a color. I can't remember what the color was, but it was a Union Max Opaque product.
It was fluorescent green or something.
Like a safe light green, something like that.
He told me the story the other day, and I believe
and he orders it from a dealer, Union dealer. The order comes in. He gets no call from the supplier, and it's the same color, different manufacturer of ink, a newer one type thing on there. And he calls me and he goes, yeah, here's what happened and all that. I said, did they call you and say they were out? He goes, no, I had to call them. And I'm like furious just because the lack of unprofessionalism, call it. I get that they're trying to fill the order for the guy and go, we don't have that, here's this. But to not put a call or an email into the client going, look, we are out of stock of this. We do have it in this. I would love to adjust the price, which they did, and send it to you. But if it was any other client, I've told this story to a couple people. Marshall lost his mind, goes, heck no, on it. And I told him he goes, I would be sending it back and finding a different supplier. If it was any other customer except this guy who's so low key, I'll give it a try and everything.
Well, because he's so nice.
He is, to his own fault. And he goes, this is really bothering you. I said, here's what this tells me. I said, I've worked for distributors. That means he is not a partner to you. He thinks your decision-making and what you use is just commodity. And he doesn't care about your processes and your business at all to put a phone call or an email and give you the option to say what they're doing. I just thought it was poor customer experience and poor partnership altogether.
Right.
So I've ranted now. Discuss.
Well, you know, from my perspective, because I've ordered, I mean, how many gazillions of dollars of products and stuff I've ordered over the years, that would just send me through the roof.
Yeah.
And also it wouldn't make it past receiving, because when I order stuff, you know, there's a 3-way check, right? So you order this, here's the part number, here's the thing, receiving gets it, it's checked into the system. Does it match? It doesn't match, it gets kicked out. Right? Because that's what we're buying something. We're buying it. So it wouldn't make it past the receiving process that I've, you know, that I've built. And so it would be a big problem. It would be an instant phone call. It would be a huge issue.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. And even if that supplier is trying to do the right thing, the fact that they didn't have the transparency, the fact that they didn't have the communication, you know, that they were just trying to pass one over or whatever. It's almost like a bait and switch situation.
Yeah.
It's a big issue. Now, if they're out of the product and they go, hey, we've got this, will this work? Right? Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but you're not allowing me to make the business decision, because guess what? Maybe that green has to match prior printed stuff. And even if to the naked eye, it looks the same color, how it prints, how it's, you know, the usability, you know, after the print, after it's dried, it could be a shade or two off or lighter, darker, whatever. Maybe this is a retail program where it has to go to a shelf, and if it doesn't match, the client rejects it. I mean, that industry supplier, because I've dealt with that before.
Yeah.
The industry supplier doesn't know that, and it could create a big situation. And what if we started using it and we lose a customer over it, over a $38 gallon of ink? It's just mind-boggling stupid. So,
maybe this is why I'm poor, you know, after all these years, because when my clients, you know, I would have called, you know,
right.
I've worked for suppliers, big ones and medium size and small ones that are growing. Right. And protocol for me would have been, we are out of XYZ product in this color. We do have it in this one, in this quantities. I can send you that, or they have the option of going somewhere else too.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because
we're getting a shipment in next week or whatever the situation is, because sometimes people order just to, you know, it's a Kanban system. We're out of this. We're going to order it. We don't have an immediate need. You know, who knows what the situation is. Yeah. Right. And that's why communication is really vital here.
And this client, and I understand, I think it's just, this shows more about the distributor, of how insecure of their business they are. Because if they would have called and said, no, we don't have that union color in stock, you know, he would have called another union dealer.
Yes.
And that says they are so insecure on their business model, or just don't even care about their business, that, you know, it just shows they have no partnership and no care.
Well, maybe it's not that level. Maybe it's just they don't have the internal process controls to do it right either. Right. So that's how they're running their company.
That would be true. I know who the dealer is, and it's not because they're new. They've been around for so long, where it just goes, they're incompetent now.
So I think this also, I'm just going to throw this out. So somebody watching this, how would you handle this situation for your customer if there was something similar, right? So maybe there's some shirts that didn't get printed, or, you know, there's a situation, or, you know, if you're a manufacturer, you know, it's a part, right? So how are you internally handling that? And then what would you do? Because a lot of times this is not the owner or the manager. This is your customer facing people making these decisions. Right. Are they trained? Do they have the right processes? Do they know how to handle this? What happens? Right? Let's just ship it. Right? Do they have a process? Who's making that decision? You know, are you letting a $16 an hour person make decisions that could affect? You know, do you keep a customer? Right? So it's like one of these things. What are you doing? I would love for people to comment about that if you've got.
And, you know, it's hard because this isn't like a one-time deal with this distributor. They have done this with multiple products, including my own. where they just don't have it in stock, so they'll send a competitive one, which just drives me as a manufacturer up a wall.
Right.
I'm sorry, we don't have an M&R gauntlet, and how would you like some other press? Peter would be flying to that place, and they would no longer be an M&R distributor. Okay. And it's just, to me, it's just poor partnership, poor customer experience, and we have
some comments, Alan. Let's get to them. Okay.
Go ahead.
So Cindy says, good morning. She's here. Joel's here. Good morning, Joel. Peter says, hearing that a number of the ink manufacturers have experienced some delay in shipment of raw materials.
That is true.
That's true, right?
Yep.
Rob verifies that. That's great.
That's true. Yep.
Always call the customer.
Always.
Exactly. That's what we're saying here.
He just didn't say always. He said always, always.
Always, right?
Yep.
Keith says, I was getting a lot of lag on Facebook, had to come over to YouTube. So thanks, Keith, for posting that. And if you're on Facebook and having an issue, there's the answer. So appreciate that.
Thank you.
Cindy says COVID caused it.
It did. We marked it down as a deal. So
yeah. And so here's the thing. If COVID is like, maybe you're short-staffed and maybe your staff doesn't know what the proper procedure is, right? So this is a perfect point here, Cindy. And I don't know if hopefully you intended it, but maybe you didn't. But it's like one of these things where if you normally have X number of employees, or now you're operating with 25 or 30% less, do the people that are actually doing these and making these decisions and doing this work, do they really know what the proper thing to do is? You have to make sure that with clarity, you have the expectations out about what has to happen. What's a success look like? And if you don't have that, what are you doing about it, right? So Charles says, oftentimes, especially during these times, shirt stock is not available. We will advise the customer that we need to make a substitute for a similar item.
Absolutely.
And by the way, if you didn't catch my conversation with Janine Edwards with jerseys yesterday on my forward progress thing, I recommend that you watch that, because we were talking about T-shirts and supply and T-shirt manufacturing and the switching to mass and all that. She did a great explanation about what's going on from the manufacturer's side of the apparel blank. So I recommend that you watch that. And then Rob says, now more than ever, one of our favorite phrases, communicating needs to your supplier is important, especially significant spikes in order quantities. Let's be real, most are spiking as compared to the last 120 days. That's
absolutely
exactly true. Right. So great engagement. Thank you so much for sharing you guys' thoughts on this.
I think the thing to get, on this whole thing is it still comes down to communication. Yes. I've said in seminars even before COVID to you end users there, you have a supplier that's failing. Why are you still with them? Find another one.
Yeah.
Find another one. Yeah. You are the customer. You are in charge of your business. Do not let them dictate on how you run your business.
Yeah.
If it's an easy way dealer and they are failing you, call me. I will move you to another one. I'm sure Rob Coleman said, if there's a problem with NASDAQ, call Rob. The hard part as a manufacturer, as a big company, is when we don't know there's a problem.
Right.
But yeah. If you can't do it, then you have to take care as the client, as the end user. You have to be in charge of your business.
So to put it in just another industry, right? So if you go eat at a restaurant, right, and your meal isn't cooked properly, do you just eat it? Or are you going to say something so they can do something about it? Because maybe they don't know.
Yeah.
Right? You have to say something. And we all vote with our dollars.
Absolutely.
Cindy says, we have a great supplier. We have great communications. Yes, we always let the customer know if there's a problem. And here's the other thing. If I ever had a problem with a main supplier, I can call the president of the company. Exactly. Here's the other thing. If you're getting fantastic service, here's a call and let them know that you appreciate that they're knocking it out of the park for you all the time, so they can thank their staff.
I had breakfast at
That's just as important as complaining.
yesterday morning. I had breakfast at a restaurant when I was out of town, and the waitress was incredible. She was so nice and stuff like that. And the manager's checking out where he goes, "Is everything okay?" I go, "Yeah, you're the manager." I go, "Just so you know, your wait staff is amazing."
Great.
So, they hear all the bad stuff. So
yeah.
I always want to let them know the good stuff.
Yeah. And then also, if you really want to do them a favor, is share your experience that it's so positive on social media that this supplier or this salesperson or this whatever is fantastic. And here's why.
Yep.
Because guess what? All people read is the negative stuff. So leave them a fantastic Google or Yelp review or whatever. Yep. Post on Instagram and Facebook that you're having a great experience, because right now that's worth more than gold. And let me tell you, that would really solidify your relationship with them, because they need that more than anything.
Yep, absolutely.
And Rob goes, "Did you get free dessert?"
Well, it was breakfast, and I was checking out, so no, I didn't.
Yeah, and Dan says, "In Reputation, I get in good trouble all the time for keeping my thumbs in all the moving parts for my customers' relationship." I like that phrase. I get in good trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Great. Good trouble.
But he's exactly right. It's all about the relationship. And it still goes down to, you're going to be the used car salesman, or are you in it for the long game? Are you playing the long game on it? And I think everybody on here, we're playing the long game. Yeah.
So our next topic is this, which is don't do stupid things. We're already really kind of talking about that. And by the way, my blog article for tomorrow, just as a preview, about what to stop in your business, right? So this is kind of a segue into that. So please read that if you like reading. So anyway, don't do stupid things, and I think we're all guilty of that. I do stupid things constantly. Yep. If you want to know what I do, my favorite joke is just ask my wife. I'm sure she'll tell you. So we all do stupid stuff, right? So but let's admit to it, and let's stop doing things, right? Let's stop the stupidity.
With this one instance I was talking about, we all make mistakes as manufacturers, suppliers, as consultants and everything. We do that, and hopefully we're doing it with the best intention.
Right.
But I guess what threw me over the edge, because I know this supplier and it is a common practice for them, and it just drives me wrong. So it's not like they made a mistake, but now the stupid thing is stop it. Stop doing it. Or is the stupid thing that people are still allowing it to happen? I don't know what is what. So
right. So we have some comments here. Cindy says, "I called their president the other day. I got an email confirmation addressed to me. Not sure they knew it was me placing the order, but it's nice to have a thank you email for my order." Yep. Yes. Yeah, and let me tell you, people want to be treated as people. Remember, the most human company wins.
Yep.
So this is for our supply chain, right? But it's also for you, the decorator, right? What are you doing? Do you have human-to-human engagement? Do you write a handwritten thank you note, right? Yep. How often are you engaging with your customers as a human being? That pays off.
Yep, absolutely.
And Dan says it doesn't feel like it, but still, right? So what stupid things have I been doing lately? My stupidity, I think, sometimes is getting sucked into the Facebook vortex of crap, and that's actually part of my my blog tomorrow was about stop engaging on Facebook, and I'm just as guilty as everybody else. And lately, I would say in the last month, I have really pulled back into what I'm doing. And I still post because I use Facebook for business and stuff. But sure. I think just engaging with the stupidity especially with the election stuff, I just have really just stopped. I've actually started using a new Chrome extension that's called Remove All Political Posts from Facebook. And I think it's going to save my life. And you know what I use Facebook for is I want to see where people are going on vacation. They got a new puppy. They're gardening on their farm. You know, Dan Solomon, I love your look. I'm driving my new tractor with my son. I love that stuff, right? I don't want to hear your opinion on whatever view you have on the election because you're not going to change my opinion. So quit posting that stuff, right? Well, that's why I have that new Chrome extension, so I don't have to read it.
So, and I'm going to share this, and Dan, you're involved in it because I think he knows what I'm going to say. So, Dan Solomon and I are friends. We have different political opinions. We got into a conversation on Facebook on it. You know what people don't know? Dan Solomon and I are friends. Later that week, I'm up in Michigan, northern Michigan, fishing. He's at his farm, you know, away from his house, which is a cottage and a farm of 80 acres, which is gorgeous. He texts me. We go down, spend a few hours there. It's beautiful there. And just talk, not politics. You know what we talked about? We talked about industry. We talked about growing up as Michigan kids. We talked about their farm, how he got the property, his dad bought it and all that. And we talked about our cottage, you know, in northern Michigan, my father and all that. And that's the stuff Facebook doesn't show. And Dan and I did do a Facebook Live, but because I'm incompetent and do stupid things, when we were done, I thought I turned it off, put it in my pocket, and it wasn't off. And we were talking about some personal things on our families. I posted it without re-listening to it. Dan goes, you got to pull that down. It's like, oh gosh. So I did, but it was incredible. It was, and Dan just posted, it was a great day. It was a good day. And people don't know that. Marshall and I differ on politics very much right now, but he's my friend. Dan's my friend.
We're not going to get into that.
Yeah. But you know what? Rob makes fun of me online. I still like Rob though. So yeah.
Yeah. And we have good comments here. So Dan says it doesn't feel like, oh, we did that one. Right now, we have to be real about expectations. Over-promising destroys our integrity. Exactly. Dan says a good day for sure.
It was.
Richard says, Alan and I never talk about politics.
Because Richard is always wrong. No, we don't. But you know what? Because you know what? It doesn't, to me, it ends up debating and no one wins debates. And then I don't like to debate it either. And it doesn't matter. It's not my job to change Richard or Dan or yours thing, your opinion or mine, them to change mine. It just is.
Right.
You know,
and you know what I really hate is the fact that right now, I don't want to get political, and I don't know why I'm even saying this, but I wish we could get to the fact that we can agree to disagree, and it doesn't mean I have to hit you over the head with the imaginary shovel because you disagree with me, and which is what seems to be the state of this country and the state of everything, and which is why I'm using that Chrome extension, because I personally can't stand it anymore. It's just sucky, right? Yeah. And I don't like it. So that's what. So rather than engaging with that, I am disengaging with it. And and if it wasn't for the business component of Facebook, I think I would just stop using the platform altogether.
I think you're right. And that's the stupid thing. So all that to say was not about stuff in my life, but stupid thing is I got engaged on Facebook and stuff means nothing.
Yeah.
And, you know, while Dan and I are friends, we got to remember it's not the people we're talking to. It's 1,000 other people in our industry that are probably lurking and watching.
Right.
And go, these guys must hate each other. We don't.
Right.
And that's the stuff. So don't, you know, that's my stupid thing.
Right. Okay, great. So let's switch to one that's not going to be controversial. And this is a great one, which is innovation keeps happening. And the one thing that I know about this industry and the reason why it gets fired me up every single day is the fact that it changes every single day. There's new stuff coming out all the time. And if you're sitting in your shop or in your office and you think everything's exactly the same way it's been for years and years and years, you're delusional.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many new things happening that it's just amazing. And I know that you were just amazed yesterday because you actually got to see a digital squeegee actually working in a shop.
I did.
Right? We had a whole conversation about that. So why don't you tell everybody what you saw and the impact I think it had on you?
So we all know about the digital squeegee and hybrid printing, and I have seen it run at M&R's facility a couple times. I have never, and I've seen them at shows. I have never seen one in a production setting. So of course I was in Chicago and I had an invitation from Pete at Same Day Tees to go there. Man, what a great host. And he, it was interesting just seeing everything, doing that. I got to ask him about, of course, I wanted to know about their screens because it is a water-based product that they put down first with the white. And then I didn't realize that there was an overclear over it until Peter said something last week on it. And then we were just, on how the color, what the customer wants, how it might come out. I was talking to their operation guy about the software, and he said it's actually pretty easy to use. So I'm not an expert in that field. So I'm asking, I'm sure, stupid questions. But I was almost like a kid in a candy store. It's like, and Pete's talking, and I'm like, hold on, follow me. I'm walking around. I'm wanting to see everything. I wish I could hover above it and just watch it all go. And we lifted the side. We're watching everything as it's printing. It was extremely cool. How we came up with this topic is that, one, that's innovation. Is because Pete, I knew Pete had one, and I knew he wasn't the first, I don't think, in the country. But I think he was the first smaller market. It's not a Fanatics. It's not some monster conglomerate that has it. And
yeah, Sean Kirkpatrick has one too.
Sean Kirkpatrick has one, and I think Mike down in Florida just got one also. And I think, it's not the thing of the future. It's now. Will there be innovation? Yes. And we were talking about the water-based part of it with Pete. And he mentions to me, which I saw Michelle Moxley posted something earlier about testing in their facility. And Pete mentioned that going, yeah, they're testing with a plastisol. And I'm like, okay, now this just got real interesting. One, because to make a switch to a hybrid is going to be a big jump for people. To make a switch to a water-based is going to be a little bit more of a curve. And if you're looking at a hybrid, you better be able to make that curve pretty easily and make those adjustments. So that's not like a deterrent. Mm-hmm. But now I remember early in the digital hybrid time where there were actually plastisols being run on some of the early ones. And I was excited to see, I don't know where the plastisol side's going to go, but I was excited to see that M&R and Michelle, they're not standing pat. We got a good thing. Let's keep going. Let's try this. Let's keep working.
Right.
And that means innovation is happening. And it's got to keep happening.
And it's not just with that. It's with the chemicals. It's with emulsion. It's with the fabrics that we use. And right.
As end users, you have to keep looking, going, what are the innovations? It might just be a product or a fabric or a garment you've never printed or decorated. Right. Again, I'm at a client and they go, Alan, what do you think about this? And it is a stretchy polyester material. And they go, what do you think? And I go, well, the best thing would be on it would be silicone. And it'd be incredible. They go, well, we've never done that. So Dan, just so you know, they have your number. I'm not sure they're going to go that way, but we got talking about that. And, I think silicone is an awesome option. I'm just not sure a lot of people are considering that option an innovation, and they need to. So, we've got to keep looking. I know, as I mentioned earlier, we're looking at our product lines of where are the holes at and trying to innovate. And I think every end user, every company has to keep doing that. Innovation keeps happening, either on a macro or a micro side of it, of your company.
Right. So, I'm always reading stuff. And I think a lot of innovation is moving towards sustainability.
Yes.
It's about recycling. It's about using better materials and getting away from some of the challenges that we have, especially with the apparel manufacturing stream. Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of that in the future just because of how things are grown and the use of water, and just a bunch of different stuff. Also, the life cycle of a shirt, that does it end when you buy it? What happens if you don't wear your clothes? Actual apparel is one of the dirtiest economies in the whole planet. Next, I think, after oil, drilling.
Yeah.
And it's because of what happens to the apparel that we do. It all goes to landfill, right? Mm-hmm. So what can we do with this later, right? So I think there's going to be a lot of innovation with the life cycle of what we're doing. And so are you part of that? Are you thinking about that? And it doesn't have to be, you're a small shop in the middle of wherever you live, right? You need to be paying attention to this, because if you become an expert, if you educate yourself on this stuff, that makes you a better value partner with somebody, because maybe these are issues that they're concerned and care about. Mm-hmm. And you can talk intelligently about it, and you can make better purchasing decisions. You can make better bets on what's going to happen. And then also, you can see how the equipment and some of the consumables that we use, it's kind of like everything kind of like connects to everything else. And how are you going to use that with whatever you're doing? Right.
Yeah.
And innovation is just always happening. And of course, not everybody goes to a million trade shows like Alan and I do. Right.
Well, we used to.
Yeah, we used to. And so what's going on with things? We always learn at a trade show. So if you go every year or every other year or whatever, right? Now that's kind of not happening, where are you getting your information from?
Yeah.
And I think that really matters. And I think from a manufacturer's point of view, transparency sometimes with what you're working on or what you're pushing out, I think really matters. How you're marketing that. What are you doing? I think there's lots of just really cool things that are coming out, and I don't know where everything is going or even how to end this conversation, but I think it's really just fascinating, and I love discussing this stuff. So,
well, I saw an article on LinkedIn, and Marshall, I thought about sending to you, and I don't know why I didn't, but I saw it just in passing and read it, of a company in St. Louis that is starting to make textiles. There again, they're weaving again and everything.
Oh,
and
really?
I thought that was awesome. I'll try to pull it up and send it to you. And it got me thinking.
Recycled materials?
I don't remember. I think so. But that got me thinking about the recycled material. So while I am not a, Sierra Club tree hugger, there is part of me that while I love this industry and that I don't enjoy supporting the two biggest, polluters in the world, one being oil, that's polyesters and stuff made of, and the other textile on there. Right. And, I got thinking about things like that I know about, the all-made shirt, which I think it's a great start on stuff. When you have the recycled plastic of 6 water bottles, you have Model in there and organic cotton. I think that's awesome. But I'm just wondering now with here in the States, we have, opportunities now with better sustainable products. And I am far from an industry expert on this. And it's on my list of things to do to research. I remember when I started this industry in the Carolinas, there were still mills that all the shirts, a majority of them were made in the Carolinas here, or sewn and everything. And cotton is a rough product to produce. It is expensive. It takes a lot of water. It's difficult to harvest. My family being from the South, there would be harvest time breaks in school because everybody on their farms would have to pick cotton, and it's brutal to do it. It just eats up your hands, and you'd get paid by the pound. Well, it takes a lot of little cotton plants to make a pound of cotton. And we have more sustainable products and hemp and stuff like that. And I'm going, man, should we as an industry start maybe pushing this and looking this, and the shirt manufacturers going, instead of cotton, why can't we start growing hemp? Why can't we start making that? Those hemp shirts are incredible, where it's more sustainable. I don't know. That's kind of just my thoughts on it, on innovation that we need to keep doing. That's about as tree hugging as I get on it. But
yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that we can do, right? And I just don't think we're doing enough, and I don't know what the answer is, but it's just that's a whole nother discussion, sustainability. Maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
So we have some great comments. Dan says that silicone is the second most common element in the Earth's crust. Just saying.
I was assuming SiO2 is silicone. I don't have my periodic chart near me right now to look that up, but I assume that was silicone.
And then Rob says robotics.
Absolutely.
And he also said, I just found a box of printed shirts in my storeroom, all made in the USA, Screen Stars. That's
Screen Stars Best. How do we, don't we remember Screen Stars Best?
So Dan says it's quartz. There you go.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Right. Again, I don't have my periodic chart near me.
Not apparel, but you should check out Avria, I guess how you pronounce that, footwear. Nancy Mincher, right?
Yeah, which is a cool thing. And I think, Rob, are those not made in Traverse City, Michigan? I think I saw that. So I was going to look into them. It's
where are the Browns live? They live in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, and Nancy is retired, so she's just kind of helping out on some of the market stuff, but some cool stuff. Check it out.
Yeah. So Cora says she found a Screen Stars while reorganizing her studio. So that's great. All right, cool.
Yeah, American-made shirts. And could we do that again, manufactured? Could we? Yeah. Should we? Probably. I don't know.
Right. So wanted to throw some things out here to wind up. First off, let's talk about Shirt Lab Tribe. And guess what? We have a new banner.
Yeah.
StreamYard has a new tool, and the only reason I know is I accidentally clicked on it. So please sign up for Shirt Lab Tribe, and we have some Shirt Lab Tribe members in here. Please post your comments about how great everything is. I would love you to share your testimony about what's happening there. But if you don't know about Shirt Lab Tribe, here's the skinny. It's a professional community that's built to make you better. It's all about education. It's all about accountability. It's about mentorship. It's about solving and helping you solve your challenges. We have a lot of engagement. We have a lot of really great things that we're doing in the group. We have an open Zoom call every single Tuesday for an hour where you can jump in and we help you with your challenges. We also have a different presentation every single Thursday, and it's just a fantastic thing, all with industry and non-industry experts. We bring people in and they're discussing live with a presentation on something that can make your business better, and you have the opportunity to ask them questions. Yeah. All of this gets recorded and posted in a brand new, what we're calling the Shirt Lab Research Center, which is something I've been working on the last, 6 weeks or so. We just launched this thing a couple days ago, and this is where all of our learning materials and everything that we're going to do is going to live. And it's basically going to be the decorated apparel community's Netflix. So we're going to be building video-based educational content that you can watch and learn all the facets of this industry. Do we have that there now? No, we don't. It's completely empty, but we're going to be building it. That was the purpose of getting this thing built, was just to have a home for it. It's not only a Facebook-built community. Well, what's really interesting here is we need you to join Shirt Lab Tribe. Right now, it's $49 a month until we get to 100 shops, right? As of this morning, we're at 64. In the last 3 days or so, whatever the days are, we've added 12 new members. And so there's going to, if you've read Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point, there's going to be right now the early adopters are in. There's going to be a point where everybody's in, right? When we get to 100 shops, that's it. It goes up to $99. So make sure you join. Make sure you take advantage of what's going on at a cheaper rate. You join now, it never goes up for you. It's always $49. And once we get our goal, that's it. and you've missed your opportunity. So don't be that last shop that goes, I'm just going to put it off or whatever, because you're saving $50 a month, right? And we're building all this stuff there, and it's built for you. It's built to help you, built to educate you. And actually, we're using information and engagement from our community to make other people better. And that's what it's about. So,
absolutely.
And Alan's in there. We have some other people in there, and
sign up even though I'm in there. I mean, yeah.
Right. And so we have some comments. Charles says, Shirt Lab Tribe is a great community. A lot of great information from industry peers and professionals to help you in your business.
Go one up.
And then also Brian says hemp and bamboo would be great choices for shirts.
Absolutely.
And Peter says, here's my last question for this week's show. How do you hide a 340,000 square foot building in the western suburbs of Chicago? Answer, you don't need to hide when it's Alan Howe in town, because he'll never find you.
I am an awful friend. I am so sorry, Peter.
Throw in some shade.
Oh. So I love you, Peter. I am so sorry.
Right. And then Keith says, Shirt Lab Tribe is amazing. You won't regret it. So you can sign up in case, where's my link here? shirtlabtribe.com. We would love, and if you are iffy, if you want to know or whatever, you can reach out to me. I'd love to have a private phone call with you about exactly what we're doing, our roadmap for the future. We're doing a lot of amazing stuff, and it's just fantastic. So I would love to have that phone call with you. And don't forget, it's a monthly subscription. Join. If you think it sucks, just cancel it. Right. Yeah. But I bet you won't. So
I want to some of this that and this little topic we got to on the different shirts. If you're a printer, I would love to, and you've printed on bamboo or hemp shirts, I'd love to know your experiences on them or what you thought. Or if you're marketing those real well, I'd love to know that. Because right. I've been offered, someone's told me, they said, you need to write an op-ed for the industry on that. And let's just start gathering information. It's kind of been a little inspiring. So I'd love to hear from you if you have any thoughts on that. So,
and Alan's email is ahow@easyway.com. Mine's is marshall@marshallatkinson.com. And by the way, if you're a t-shirt printer, I'm filming a new YouTube show called The Best T-Shirt I Ever Printed. And I'm filming shops talking about that t-shirt experience. It's about the story. So it's 10, 15 minutes long. I want to know all about that story, about that favorite shirt that raised all the money for the charity, or you printed for your favorite band. It was the first time you ever printed Discharge or whatever it is, or you're so happy with the SEPs that just came out. I've got 2 new episodes, and they're at, where's my link here? At my YouTube channel, which is now marshallatkinson.com. Thank you for subscribing. And so it's all about your story. I want to hear that story, and I want to get it out so everybody can enjoy it. That's the purpose of the show, and would love to have you on it. So, all right. So we're a little over.
It's all right.
Cora says printed on hemp, very textured.
Email me, Cora. I'd love to ask some questions on that. So
yeah. So
I'd love to see a print on it if you have a copy of it.
And if that's the best t-shirt you ever printed, would love to share that story on my YouTube channel.
Awesome. And everybody watching, make sure you share this show with other people in our industry.
Yeah, please
hit that share button. There's
this, share, like, comment. We love all that stuff. And I think that's going to do it for the week.
I think so.
Have a great weekend. What are you doing this weekend, Alan? Are you fishing?
I think I might run up to the cottage, about an hour and a half away. Going to try to finish up here today and maybe run up there and hit the lake. It's hard to believe it's August that, it's starting to get into that little bit of weather here in Michigan where it's still 90, but it could drop into the 50s in the evening,
right?
Which is not a bad time. But I know if I don't do it, I'm going to hate myself in the fall and the winter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or do you ice fish? Do you cut the hole in the ice and go?
You know, I have an ice fish that says about 18, 20 years old. I would love to do it again. It's changed a little bit, but I haven't. I used to do it a lot. My father would call me from work, tell me get stuff ready, and we'd head out to a lake that is now Kent Lake, which is now in a metro section.
Yeah.
It used to be just desolate outside of Detroit. And we would go out there and he'd bring me back. Like I'd be 8 or 9. It'd be 11 o'clock at night. I'd have school next day. My mom fussing the whole time but Mom, I got a clean fish now. But yeah. And it was a good time. I wish I need to get out there. I'd like to get out there and do it again.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't in a lot of years.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So I'm working tomorrow. I've got a lot of stuff to do. So
yeah.
All right. All right. So thanks, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you later.
I appreciate everybody in this industry. Thank you.
See ya.